Close that back door, don't want no snake shit around me. Circle only getting smaller, built this thing from the ground. Who built this? Me, that's who. Who put all this shit together, bitch? Me, that's who. Who built this? Me, that's
real world situation. We're gonna start right there. And then we'll get into this. And I don't want to be biased, you know, but I'm gonna be biased. This Maniac Ryan Garcia, man. So we're gonna deal with the madness that we seen take place the other day in London. I've looked hard, Noble, and I haven't seen no real talk.
Nope. Just people posting it, just posting like, you know, what happens. Nobody actually trying to unpack, to give their opinion. Nothing, sibling.
There you go. So that's why we're here, man. So we'll definitely get onto that. And yeah, man, like I said, that Maniac Ryan Garcia as well. I got a lot to say on that. So for my boxing guys that are in the building, make sure you're about for that one. So Noble, should we play the news report, or should we just, how should we attack this? Because
I think that we should get some context from the lame stream, from the lame/shame stream media. I think we should most definitely do that there. Just to warm it up a little bit so we can react of sorts and then really go into that there.
Yeah, man, most definitely. So just before we play this, as Noble calls it, and as I call it now as well, the shame stream media's version of events. I just want to say this, yeah. We're living in some mad times, you know. We're living in some mad times. Whoever's leading this country, and when I say whoever's leading, I'm talking about the shadow folks.
Yes.
For whatever reason, it's like they are setting the stage for chaos in the UK. Like they're setting the stage for chaos. And I want to say that before we get into the topic, because yesterday I had a conversation with an Albanian gentleman. And this Albanian guy was basically breaking down to me what he believes, not only the leaders of the country, but people from the country, ourselves included, how they perceive his people. The man got really irate. There was a lot of F words used. He was really, really angry. And this is a man that's been here over 15 years. And he was going in people. He was angry, just shouting and just saying how he's looked at, how his children are looked at, the issues that they've had in school. You know what I mean? And he was saying it's even hard for him to leave.
Shit.
And when I was listening to this, I was saying to myself, wow, this is a man who's been here for 15 years. So you then have to think about people that have been here for 15 months, who are much younger, who are much more aggressive. And you got to think now people are actually living between a real talk rock and a hard place.
Yes.
People are living knowing that they can't afford to live. And I'm talking about people that's born and raised here that have gone college and university.
Yep.
So you just imagine the type of feeling and atmosphere that is going through these UK streets right now, to where we're getting people that will take up a sword,
yes,
and just attack random members of the public. We're talking about women.
Yep.
We're talking about children. A man will just go onto the street and do that. Now, a man may ask himself, why? Why would a man do that? People, these folks are giving up.
Yes.
And I'm not, don't get this thing twisted, you know, because I'm going to play this news report and then we're going to do what we do. But there are people now that are giving up.
Hopeless and helpless, Mark.
There you go. Record numbers of suicides. Record numbers of unemployment. Record numbers of people losing their homes. Where's the hope for these folks? So, as we approach this topic, I just want us to understand that what we're actually living through right now.
and how complex this whole situation is, man.
100%.
They're making it seem like it's just very quote unquote black and white. You know what I mean? It's like, let me paint a scenario. It's like someone running over into a field with a box of matches and some newspaper, lighting that thing up, and then running back to where all the houses are, and then saying, "Oh my, look! Oh, I think there's a fire over there. Look at that smoke. What should we do? I've got a bucket and stuff. Let's try and deal with it." But wait a minute, didn't you set the fire and put everybody in danger?
Exactly.
This is what is going on.
Exactly. And then when you try to look for, let me try and word this the right way, because I don't want to attack anybody. But when you go out your way to look for discussions and ideas and conversations about how, why, and how we're going to change things, I can't see that. All I'm seeing is Kendrick Lamar versus Drake.
Come on, sibling.
And don't get it twisted. Yeah, rap battles, yeah, it's all good. But yo, right now we got bigger problems, man.
Much more bigger problems than that surface level minutia. We're talking about food, clothing, and shelter, or the lack of opportunity to obtain and sustain such basic requirements that every damn human walking this plane of existence should be afforded. But as you highlighted, the cost of damn stupid living has risen exponentially more than the space and the damn stars in the damn sky. People
100.
killing themselves. Every kind of dysfunction is being popularized and promoted. The filth is at an all-time high. The degradation is at an all-time high. The helplessness, the hopelessness, the destruction, the planned destruction of a society and of a global population. I hate even using that word, but it's the truth. These wicked space monkeys have got some kind of, I don't know what kind of plan they've got in place, but the people who have been on this plane of existence for a while, we're not in this plan.
100%. Because right before we could start right now, but before we get into the news report, because we're gonna go in on this. Look at the conversations that the wider public are having. And when I say the wider public, I'm talking about the upper class indigenous folk. Look at the conversations that they're having. And then ask yourself a question. Why are they having those conversations? They're having those conversations because it's like someone's getting ready for something.
Exactly.
No, but do you know it's on TikTok, yeah? There's a lot of videos of like young white college boys just upping and going to like Trinidad or...
Yes.
But like they've got a bit of land and they've got a little one room with a bathroom. Why are we seeing those videos more and more and more now? It's not just based on the cost of living. Let's get into this thing, man. Let's get into this thing.
Just over 12 hours ago, as the day began, as tables were being laid for breakfast, horrific scenes began to play out in the front gardens here. A commotion because a man wielding a sword was running amok. And as you mentioned, a schoolboy, just 14 years old, on his way to school, was fatally stabbed. Police were on the scene within minutes. They pursued the alleged assailant through alleyways and back gardens before tasering him.
You notice the verbiage?
Yeah, I'm clocking it. I'm clocking.
The alleged perpetrator, when this man, there's footage of this youth, of this demon, of this terrorist. But yet we're going to allege that this stuff took place. We're going to allege that police officers were injured. Rise in paradise to the young brother whose life was fucking, taken, stolen. But it's alleged, Mark. There's no evidence at the moment. We're just going to allege this stuff.
And arresting him on suspicion of murder. As you said, police do not believe the incident is terror related, but tonight, at least one family and this community is...
Police do not believe it's terror related. So what is it then?
Yeah.
Good morning.
A schoolboy being dragged across an East London street. His attacker walking off, sword still in hand.
He just killed that boy. He just killed him right outside my house.
It is the stuff of nightmares. The man hiding in bushes then seemingly attacked people at random. The boy dead, 4 more injured before he was tasered by police. 2 of those hurt officers. Witnesses described seeing the man crash his van through a front garden before going on the rampage. Who, why, and how could this have happened?
He had a sword in his hand and he stepped on the resident's foot, the neighbour's foot, to stop her from moving. And she noticed the sword behind his back, and then she managed to get off of his footing and she moved away, and then she saw a young boy, he's about 16 years old. He was coming out of his house, he was putting his earphones in. As he was putting his earphones in, about 10 metres away from the door, she screamed to warn him that the man has a sword. And he, as he's turned round, he's waved the sword, and it's struck him in the side of the head.
The families, this community, want answers.
The 36-year-old man arrested at the scene is currently in hospital, having suffered injuries when his van collided with a building. He has been arrested.
We don't even need to hear no more of that.
Child of the devil.
This episode is sponsored by Supreme of the UK. Click the link in the description and support the broadcast.
We don't even need to hear 1 second more of that. So, okay. So you got this man. He's gone into an area with a sword and just started to attack people, and he's ended up killing a 14-year-old boy. Now, let's really unpack this thing, because we don't want to do what the mainstream media do, which is try and give excuses, because you notice how much times they've mentioned mental health. Now, I understand that there is a system of mental health that does need to be looked at. You see what I mean? I do understand that. However, how is it that this man is able to commit an act like this when he's actually already known to authorities? He's made this threat previously, you know, Noble.
Okay, so let's stick specifically where you're at now, and the demon himself, Mark Ass Monzo. Well, he's supposed to be under this, what do they call it? Care in the community. Because he's not in a facility being treated. He's on road. So they call that shit, Mark, care in the community, where social workers, health workers, whatever the hell their titles are, visit this demon on a regular basis to assess his behavior. And on a weekly, 2-weekly, monthly basis, he is taking tablets, or he's injected with stuff, chemicals, to keep him, quote unquote, balanced. We have mentioned numerous times these so-called people who are, what do they call it? They call it presenting. They're presenting of having mental illnesses. So we're going to help them. But yet we get a dude in Rackham's. Remember that dude in Rackham's?
Yeah.
Wetting the border people then?
Yeah, man.
Huh? We all of this stuff, they're saying it's people with mental illnesses. And they've been known, and we've been treating them, but clearly they're not treating them. 1 and 1 equals 2. So let's just lay out all the damn thing. They are putting dangerous people on the streets in the community for these things to take place. I don't know what they want as a result of it, outside of the destruction and death and harm that's being done. There's some kind of agenda, because if you have a mental illness, and you're a violent person who is presenting with a mental, quagmire, how on earth are you out on the road? How on earth have you got access to samurai swords? What are we talking about? You got you turning around with zombie knives and all this kind of madness, but yet we've still got people getting access, given access, you can go on www.whatever and order the damn thing and get it delivered to your house. How, Mark?
By design.
This is it.
It's all by design. This man was known to the public. He was known, to the system. And somehow, like you said, Noble, he's free to purchase a a samurai sword. He's also free to walk the streets. And in result of that, a young boy whose life's barely started was stolen for no reason whatsoever. They can't blame it on gangs. They can't blame it on knife crime. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about when they say like black knife crime. They can't blame it on none of that. They can't blame it on drill. This is a boy who was just on his way to school. Just on his way to school. And a man with a samurai sword just killed him. And this is what we're dealing with in the UK. We're dealing with papering over cracks. There are people who are giving up on life every day because of the circumstances. Based off the circumstances of how they're living here, yeah? People are just giving up. Yo, I'm done with this. So you're seeing acts like this. Now, this was a white brother, so they can't say, oh, it's any kind of road thing. Because make that a black man, they can try and make it a road thing. Make it an Asian done, they can make it a terror thing. You see what I'm trying to say? They can't say none of that. This is just a innocent schoolboy who's on his way to school and just got killed. And like I said, there's a million more people like that same guy.
Yes.
Who have given up on living, just given up, because a man don't commit a crime like that who hasn't given up on life.